Building a Story Brand, a review. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I'm going to be reviewing this book, and I'm going to be breaking a rule, an unspoken rule, that I try not to review a book until I'm at least close to being finished with it. But this is one I'm going to make an exception on, because I already like it enough that there's really not much more that can happen in this book for me to be unhappy with it. I mean, it's just the overall direction, the structure of it. I already know where it's going before it gets there. It's just getting deeper and deeper into the point that he's already laid early on in the book. So I know I'm going to like it regardless of what he says to do, and I'll give you an idea of what that is. The subtitle for this is clarify your message so customers will listen. And that's what making a story is all about. This is something I've always believed in. It's something I've worked myself on trying to develop more and more, is the ability to tell a good story. It's not easy. It's not something, for some people it comes natural, or they grew up around other storytellers that they've been able to adapt it well. But it's not something that we naturally do because we don't talk to ourselves necessarily in a story form. You know, we collect data and everything else in our minds, and we have it organized in whichever way works best for us in our own brains. But it's not necessarily, we don't realize that so much of what we latch onto came to us originally via story. Somebody was telling us a story, and that's what led us into an interest. And it's very difficult to get a point across without telling a story. And you've heard all the examples. You know, they talk about Jesus Christ talking about everything in the form of parable. I mean, just about every one of his major lessons was in a parable, was in a story form. I mean, just anybody you can imagine that has been able to paint pictures for people, it's via some form of story, either complex or simple, but it always comes through via story. That's how we attach to these things. I mean, most of us, especially those of us who grew up during this era, a lot of the stories that are so cemented in our minds aren't only from books. They're stories from movies. I mean, most of us, it's the movies. It's the great movie series and the TV series, and it's these fictionalized stories. But if you pull back from the ones that are the most popular, it's not the fiction that people get caught up in. Yeah, a lot of that stuff pulls people forward, you know, the special effects, the colorful characters, everything else. But really it comes down to the story and the basis of the story, the structure of the story, and the principles that the story is teaching that we really latch onto. The most popular movies out there, they have strong stories. They may be simple stories, but they're strong stories. And he goes through this quite a bit early on in the book, and talking about structure and how you can take it, whether it be a business or anything else, how you can take a story to be able to build up a brand. And it's so simple the way he puts it, because he's built it into 7 steps. I think I don't know if I've read this part yet to you. This it's kind of a sub headline here. It says, use the 7 elements of great storytelling to grow your business. Okay, he's developed 7 elements that you could find in just about any good story, and how you can take that and then use it to be able to tell your story, to be able to build your business, to be able to get your ideas out there. This isn't only a business book. This is a book about how to communicate something that means something to you. And I love the way he writes. I started listening to the audiobook, and I'm saying, I need to have this physically in front of me. I need to be reading it while listening to it and seeing the diagrams, and really need to encapsulate this stuff. So it's one I recommend. It doesn't matter, because he goes through very specific steps of how to develop each of these 7 elements. And it doesn't matter whether that works for you or not. What matters is that you start seeing things from your ideal customer's view, or your ideal patient's view, or your ideal followers' view, whoever you're trying to get your point across to, whoever that person is, you need to start bending your mind a little backwards and see it from their perspective, and being able to communicate it so that they can digest it better. Being able to do that will help your business no matter what. That's why this book is important. That's why none of the rest of the book matters. The principle of the book is so strong and the elements are so simplified that I think this is going to be useful to anyone, and I haven't even finished the book. I'll go through more detail in the future after I'm done with it, but it is definitely one to go check out. It's called Building a Story Brand, Donald Miller. Go check this one out. It's from 2017. Still a fabulous read. So also, while you're at it, if you want to go check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business, that's a way to kind of outdo competition. That would work good with this book because it kind of lays the groundwork. It's shorter too. Go read mine first, then grab this one. You get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com of 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business, and then go get Donald Miller's book. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow with another tip for how you can really explode your business from here on forward. It doesn't matter whether it's a principle, a strategy, or a tactic. We're going to take something and feed it to you tomorrow and maybe start a little conversation about it. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.